Board a plane.
Coming up, my special investigative report on an airport which has given some pilots a fear of flying.
Tonight, Eyewitness News begins a special look at airline safety in Southern California. Lisa has the exclusive report for us.
Thanks, Harold. More planes take off from more airports in the Los Angeles area than any other metropolitan region in the country. Pilots complain of saturated skies and crowded ground facilities. But in Southern California, one airport stands out, a place where many pilots have a fear of flying. Steve Gatelin agreed to fly us from Brackett Field in Laverne to the airport he and other pilots insist is very dangerous.
Ground check, E223 Bravos with your Desert Pacific. We're going to be VFR down to Orange County, John Wayne Airport.
There are 5 commercial airports near Los Angeles: LAX, Burbank, Long Beach, Ontario, and Orange County, John Wayne. That is our destination. It's the 5th busiest airport in the nation, and some commercial pilots say it's an accident waiting to happen.
John Wayne, Orange County is the unsafest one in the LA area. I know pilots that will not fly in and out of the airport, that are senior enough that they're able to avoid flying trips that go in and out of John Wayne.
These pilots with 70 years experience between them spoke in silhouette to protect their jobs. They say it's not that other airports don't have problems, it's that John Wayne has so many. Take its runway. Federal records show the runway is much shorter than runways at other commercial airports. In fact, it's even shorter than the runway at tiny non-commercial Chino Airport. Pilots say when landing a big jet at John Wayne, there isn't an inch to spare. The Airline Pilots Association calls the runway short and the airport marginal. But one of the greatest dangers to those in the air may be caused by those on the ground.
You have to do something with your airplane that you don't normally do at any other airport.
Commercial pilots taking off from John Wayne make a steep ascent to 800 feet, where they must suddenly throttle back in order to reduce noise over the affluent Newport Beach neighborhoods below.
If anything should happen to the aircraft, there's loss of an engine, the pilot would have to be at his best to get the aircraft safely back around and on the ground.
But federal officials and county airport operators insist the practice is safe.
This is a very safe airport. Manufacturers would not put those planes in the sky if they did not feel that they were safe. The carriers would not ask their pilots to fly procedures if they felt they were unsafe, and the FAA would not certify those procedures if they felt they were unsafe.
Tomorrow night, we'll hear from the FAA and from pilots who say the FAA is wrong. Also tomorrow night, we'll tell you about a dangerously close encounter in the skies that happened just last week.
We'll see you right here. The investigation uncovers the concerns of pilots and passengers at our nation's 5th busiest airport. Lisa has the exclusive story.
Thanks, Harold. At Orange County's John Wayne Airport, hundreds of small planes crowd in and around those big commercial jets. According to some pilots, that configuration makes the airport the Southland's most dangerous. Heading to John Wayne Airport in a small plane, we're warned this is busy airspace. How many small planes are heading into Orange County Airport on a given day, do you think?
They're fairly busy.
Unlike other commercial airports, the commercial jet runway at John Wayne is right alongside a small runway for private planes. But pilots say the unique and complicated takeoff procedure designed to reduce noise over Newport Beach makes the situation worse and much more dangerous. A steep takeoff means it's difficult to see out the front window of the jet. Airline pilot Richard Deeds chaired the FAA panel that designed John Wayne's anti-noise takeoff procedures, which leave little time to evaluate and maneuver in busy airspace.
When both guys are so involved, they're looking at the instruments. Nobody's looking outside the airplane. That can be a dangerous situation.
Earlier this month, from a car wash near the takeoff end of the John Wayne runway, a Newport Beach man got a good view of what he thought was a near miss between a small plane and a commercial jet.
The plane, United plane, quickly moved right. I mean, he almost like a driver trying to avert a pothole on a road.
A check with the airport tower confirms something did happen. An FAA investigation is underway. Pilots told us the mix of big jets and small planes makes close encounters like this common, and they say a mid-air collision could be only a matter of time. This captain for a major airline is a 30-year veteran.
If a light aircraft should stray from its path, there's a possibility of a mid-air collision. With a small aircraft, it would bring the big airplane down.
But the FAA insists pilots shouldn't worry.
I can understand pilots' concern with mid-air collision potential, not only at John Wayne, but at any airport. But we've got some very professional air traffic controllers in place at John Wayne. One of their main jobs is to keep aircraft separated.
But Al Pregler with the Airline Pilots Association says you can't count on the controllers.
The air traffic control system is undermanned, underfunded, under-equipped.
Tomorrow night, we'll meet Newport Beach residents nervous about the safety of their airport. We want to make it clear that the pilots are not simply criticizing the takeoff procedure. What also concerns them is making that maneuver when the skies are crowded with unpredictable private planes. Tomorrow night, a possible solution.
Travel. Is there a way to ease safety concerns at one Southland airport? Lisa tackles the issue for us now.
Thanks, Harold. Is air traffic at Orange County in any greater jeopardy than at any other airport in the Southland? Last night we heard from some commercial pilots who say that strict noise abatement procedures are very complicated and cause them to spend too much time figuring out how to cut their engines and not enough time watching what's going on outside of their aircraft. Tonight, airport officials in the FAA say the airport is safe.
For every pilot who says, I think it's unsafe, there is another pilot who says, it's my job, and as long as I'm complying with the FAA safety regulations, it's not a problem.
The FAA and officials at John Wayne Airport insist air traffic in Orange County is safe enough. But could it be safer? Just a few miles away, the El Toro Air Base is scheduled for shutdown in 1999. The regional director of the Airline Pilots Association says it could be a ready-made solution.
If they would adopt the El Toro Airport and make it into a first-rate air carrier airport.
At John Wayne, small single-engine planes and huge commercial jets share the same short and closely positioned runways.
Look how short the runway looks. For these guys, it is very short.
Somebody in a Cessna 150 is going to get somebody in a 757. And not intentionally, it's just going to happen.
By utilizing El Toro, commercial and private traffic could be kept at a greater and safer distance. And complicated noise abatement rules, which require commercial pilots to make a steep ascent, level off, and throttle back to low power over Newport's noise-sensitive neighborhoods, could be eliminated. Dick Deeds, who chaired the FAA commission that came up with that procedure, thinks El Toro may be a wise move.
You got to realize when a pilot starts getting uncomfortable flying the airplane, something's got to be done.
While insisting John Wayne is safe enough, airport officials understand there are those who see El Toro as an alternative.
Because it is an airfield, there are those who believe that the feasibility of using that facility for commercial purposes in the future should be evaluated.
Even the residents of Newport Beach, who enjoy John Wayne's convenience and the quiet, are now questioning whether the price of such silence is worth the risk.
What worries me is what appears to be the interplay between noise abatement and safety. I mean, if going out of there means that it's less safe because they've got to abate noise, then don't abate the noise.
The proposal for El Toro is now under consideration. They're doing a feasibility study. It'll be up to the federal and county governments to make the final decision.
Lisa, thanks. Good series all the way around.